Hello friends, welcome back to our channel where we talk about plant-based eating for busy people. The power of plant-based eating in my life just continues to grow day by day. My passion for it, my love for it, my dependence on it, it is making that big of a difference in my life. But I have always struggled with how to implement it with the difficulties that come with it. And one of the major difficulties for me is how much time it takes to prepare food and how much food is wasted. So, because of that, I am here today to tell you about arguably the most important thing to me when it comes to eating plant-based, and that has made it possible for me, and I really believe that it can make that big of a difference in your life. I am a Thrive Food distributor, affiliate, consultant, whatever you want to call it. I tend to call it consultant. And the Thrive Foods is freeze-dried foods. And I started buying Thrive Foods 15 years ago, before I ever started my plant-based journey. And I got it for several different reasons. My main purpose was preparedness. I wanted to have food on hand. I wanted to have emergency food. It felt important to me to be self-reliant. So I wanted to have that on hand. So I looked everywhere and tried all the foods and all the companies. It mattered to me. I needed the best, and I found it in Thrive. And believe me, I looked at everything, and the price was awesome, but most importantly, the quality was off the charts. No other company touched it in terms of quality and oversight of the process, and just how premium the product was. And so I started getting it, and I actually started using it in my cooking because it was convenient. And at the time, even though I wasn't plant-based, I've always cared about health. Who hasn't? And I had children to raise, and I loved having fruits available and that I knew were healthy, that were not spoiling on me. And I loved having convenience food is kind of what it was for me, because I had I didn't have to chop onions and celery and stuff. I could just throw them in a soup or a casserole and other things as well. And it was like just a huge benefit in my life. And I got to know the executives of the company, the founders of the company, because I kind of joined them right after they started. And so, like, there weren't very many consultants. There was just a handful. And I spent a lot of time with them as they were building this company. And like a lot of time, I traveled a lot with them. I got to sit at their table. Every time we had meetings and conventions, I soon became a member of the board, the consultant advisory board. And I have been for years, almost my entire Thrive career. And so I had an advantage that most of us don't have, and that is knowing the character of the people who started the company and who run it, and knowing what they would do in stressful situations and to protect their employees and to make sure that their product was the best. And boy, I hope this is working with this wind. We'll see. I knew that they were the best of the best, and I trusted them completely. And so that's an advantage that we don't always get when we're buying a product, is to know who's behind it and what kind of people they really are. So there I was, enjoying this really awesome food. I had the peace of mind of having some put away for difficult times if we needed it, which, by the way, we did, and that was kind of a huge blessing. and I was enjoying my time with the company. A lot of personal development happened. I wasn't a salesman because I didn't have to sell it. All I had to do is let people taste it, and then they would buy it through me, and I liked that because I'm not a salesman. And then I started eating plant-based, and that's when everything changed. And this became an absolute necessity to me. I am not kidding when I tell you this day that if I did not have the convenience of freeze-dried food, I'm not certain if I would stick to my plant-based lifestyle, even though it is so critical to my health and happiness. Just not sure that without what it does for me, that I could maintain the lifestyle. I would try. I promise I would try, and I probably would succeed. But I sincerely wonder sometimes, how would I do it without Thrive? And then I look around in the plant-based world and think, why is this not more widespread? I hear my heroes, Dr. Greger and other people that I follow, they'll mention it, freeze-dried food. Like, it is a good option. Everyone agrees. If you Google it, you will see it has the same nutrients as fresh, almost exactly. It is an extraordinary product, and they will mention it. But then I look around in the plant-based world and wonder why people aren't using it. It's still a mystery to me, and I feel like one of the possibilities is it's undiscovered yet. I think maybe that people think that when they think of freeze-dried food, they think of freeze-dried fruit, maybe freeze-dried raspberries and blueberries or strawberries, and yeah, what a great snack, right? That's going to be a good addition to your plant-based lifestyle or cooking, or even on the go. You can have those snacks, and but I think that people don't realize what's available. If you walk into Costco or you walk into your grocery store, you're only going to see that little handful of freeze-dried things. And then I think people might be aware that there are other freeze-dried products, but they think that they're for preppers or end of the world things, and so they're probably thinking of ready-made meals and things like that. It's a theory. I don't know if that's true, but for whatever the reason, people don't seem to understand what's available to them in the plant-based world. So I'm here to point it out. And that's a major part of our channel. Just because we are consultants for Thrive Life, I will never shy away from talking about it. It is one of those things that you can genuinely share with the world and know that you're doing a service to them because of the health benefits and everything else that comes with it. So, asking you, are you aware that you can buy freeze-dried asparagus or freeze-dried spinach and kale, freeze-dried mushrooms, are freeze-dried mangoes and dragon fruit, and you may not be, and you may not understand what it means to have. I just have one little can here of spinach, chopped spinach, and I picked this one to hold up in this video because spinach is, I actually don't love spinach, but boy do I try to eat it. I really need greens in my life. The greens are just like so important. And so for someone like me who doesn't love it in the first place, if I buy a bag of spinach or a container of spinach, I will almost never finish it before some of it wilts and gets black and slimy. You know what I'm talking about. I do grow it in my garden. I love that, but my season here is fairly short, and then it gets too hot and it bolts to seed. And so I enjoy it for a moment from my garden, but then I have to go back to buying it. And I just hate throwing food away. I hate it so much. I paid for it or I labored for it. It feels like waste. It feels like it could be going to better purpose. It it makes my grocery bill larger than it needs to be. It just feels wrong to throw away food. And so for me, something like this is the answer. This has the same nutrients, all of the fiber, everything in it. And when it's unopened, it has a 25-year shelf life. And after it's open, this one's open, that's what it looks like. It's got at least a year on your shelf, on your pantry shelf, and it won't go bad. It's that way with the fruits and all of the vegetables. When I cook, I almost never chop onions. I have two different kinds of onions with Thrive Life. I have sliced onions or chopped onions. I have every pepper, green, red. Okay, not every. I have green and red pepper strips. So I can have it in strips or I can break them up. I have mushrooms. I haven't bought mushrooms for such a long time because I always have pristine, beautiful, fresh mushrooms in a can that I can just add water to and they go back to life, and I throw them in whatever I'm making. Just imagine not having to clean mushrooms or slice them or watch them go bad in your fridge. Just try to grasp the joy of that. I have corn and green chilies and zucchini and butternut squash. And in addition to being able to cook with those, no chopping, no peeling, no coring. Um, it is just, even if you buy frozen fruits and vegetables, which is actually better than fresh grocery store, I'm hoping you know that. I think most people understand that frozen fruits and vegetables have a higher nutrient value than fresh fruits and vegetables from the grocery store. Obviously, your garden or a farmer's market is going to be the very best, right? But as far as buying produce from the grocery store, frozen is actually a little bit more healthy because it's been able to ripen further. And then it is quickly frozen before the nutrients can start to deplete, as they do once you harvest something. So I have, even if I buy frozen fruits and vegetables, which I still do, and I still use grocery store fresh, and I definitely grow my own food from the garden. But even if I have frozen stuff in my freezer, it doesn't have as long of a shelf life as this. It will eventually get freezer burned, dried out. It loses some of its appeal, but this stays fresh. So I ask myself, why? Why is this not a bigger deal in the plant-based world? If you have opinions, I want to hear them. And as I said, we are distributors or consultants for this food. And the reason I ever even joined as a consultant is because I could get the food for free, a lot of it, and also get a discount. And I didn't even ever think I was going to talk about it to anybody. I ended up doing it just because I noticed that people were actually interested, and I've done it ever since. But if you really are serious about trying it, signing up as a consultant is my recommendation because you get so much free food. and the discounts and a whole bunch of other perks. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into that in this video, just to say that this is a game changer. Freeze-dried food. And specifically, in my humble opinion, Thrive freeze-dried food. Thrive started from the humblest beginnings. A couple of college buddies who had a dream, and now it is the largest freeze-dried company in the world. I only wanted to address one other thing, which I hear from people often, is that freeze-dried food is expensive. It certainly does seem that way when you look at a price list and what's in a can of freeze-dried food. By the way, this is a smaller can. This is what we call a pantry can. And this is another benefit that I love. Freeze-dried food is best in cans. It's just the way it is. Cans are most protective, best for the shelf life, best for the nutrition. But sometimes people don't want those big number 10 cans, which I think people tend to associate with freeze-dried food. So we have these smaller ones that they lend themselves more toward cooking and snacking and using them in everyday life. And I love that. And they even have a pop top, which is really nice. But expense-wise, it is more expensive than grocery store food, generally speaking. I've done a blog post before on that subject. There are some things that are actually cheaper in Thrive form, but typically you will find that this costs more. Just consider a few things. What is in this can is the usable portion of the fruit or vegetable. For instance, when you buy a pineapple, don't we all love pineapple? You cut off 40% of it by the time you cut off the top and the bottom, the outer peel, and if you don't eat the core, and you're left with that goodness, but you threw away a lot of what you paid for. And when you buy a can of Thrive pineapple, you're purchasing all that you're going to use. None of it ever goes to waste. You use every drop in the can because it doesn't spoil. So even when you get down to powders, you can throw them in everything from soup and casseroles to frosting, you name it. Baby food, make baby food out of it. It's a beautiful thing. And so those things factored in, plus the shelf life, plus the fact that you buy food today and you use it 5 years down the road at today's price. That has always been a benefit too, which I am super grateful for now, since I've had the blessing of getting it for 15 years. So some of the benefits that make this affordable indeed. Plus, think of the things in your fridge right now. What is molding or wilting or going bad? Even I have stuff in my fridge right now doing all of those things, and I have Thrive. So it's a very real thing, and it would be worse for me if I didn't have Thrive. So that is it, my friends. I wanted to also mention that because we are consultants, people who order through consultants get a better deal. And so if you want to investigate the Thrive product list, and there are a lot of things that Thrive sells that are not plant-based. So be aware of that. When you get on there, you will see many items, but be sure to check out what is plant-based because it is life-changing. And if you join our customer list, you don't have to purchase anything, but you just join our customer list, which we'll have a link for that in the description. Then when you do go to purchase Thrive, and you'll just shop online, you don't have to talk to me or anybody. You just shop online like normal, And we have the link for that as well. But by having been added to our customer list, the computer will recognize you as our customer, and that will be a benefit to you. There are many sales. There are monthly specials every month. Many good ways to get the food less expensively. And as I mentioned before, becoming a consultant, I highly recommend. And actually, I'll put a link for that also in the description. One last thing, we have referral links. So by joining our customer list, you can get a referral link that you can share with friends, and you will get rewarded free food when they shop through that referral link. To them, it will look like they're just going to the website and buying, but it will be connected to you, and your account will be credited for free food. Just like a consultant gets credited for free food. Only consultants get other perks as well. And you don't even have to buy stuff for that to work. So that is another option that I highly recommend, is sharing that referral link, and so that other people can have that advantage as well. If you have questions, be sure to put them in the comments, and we'll be glad to address them. But I just wanted to address this directly. We talk about Thrive a lot because we use it a lot, and we try not to be, salesy about it or anything like that. But those of you in the plant-based world, especially if you're busy, especially if, like me, you cannot find the time in your life to spend in the kitchen chopping, peeling, coring, and just to have it sit in the fridge and rot. Don't do that anymore. Just don't. Join me on this journey and use this and talk about it, and let's set the plant-based world on fire. Let's let them know what is available. Appreciate you lots. I am learning as I go with this YouTube thing, and I just hope to be myself and share what makes our lives easy. I really genuinely want to share that with you, because in my humble opinion, I think the world would be a better place if more people knew about plant-based eating. And so let's make it easy for everyone. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.